Zoologist is one of the best perfume brands on earth. This is an extremely hard list and I have not smelled every single one of them, but here is my top 5. Coming in at number 5, we have Zoologist Civet. Zoologist Civet is one of the most opulent blends of amber, animalics, and florals. It's very vintage, it feels old school, but it feels luxurious. This is also one of the smoothest blended perfumes that I've ever smelled, and the only reason it's my number 5 is because when I wear perfumes from Zoologist, I really want to be transported into that animal's habitat. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't happen with Civet, just that I don't really know what a civet is. Of course, I'm aware of it in perfumery, I know how it smells, I know that it's a type of cat, but since I have no real experience with a civet, I'm not transported into the territory of a civet. Now, I know that's on me, not on the perfume, but solely for the reason that I love the transportation aspect of the brand of Zoologist, this can't be any higher than number 5. Getting into the scent profile, Civet has a very good balance between sweetness, aldehydic-ness, and sourness. Despite the brand of Zoologist having some funky options, Civet is actually pretty palatable. It's very high quality and it's very niche, but it's not too weird to where the average person would gag at it. Funny enough, the Civet in here is not actually the dominant note. I really get a lot of vintage white florals, such as jasmine, I get rose hip. Of course, the Civet in here is a little bit sour, it has some tang, but it's not animalic in a fecal way. It has a very slight pissiness, but it's not too noticeable. The amber in here creates a nice base of warmth against that sour funkiness. And the aldehydes in here, which I'm not even sure if they're listed, create a luxurious, clean, and soapy profile against those sharp vintage white florals. Civet is the perfect representation of notes that shouldn't work together, that come together and work harmoniously. Another reason that this is so good is that objectively, it's a challenging scent profile. But with the way it's blended, with the way the notes are put together, and with the way this wears on the skin, it becomes rich, opulent, and very easy to love. Don't mix easy to love with mass appeal. This is still not mass appealing at all. But in the air, the scent trail is very addictive, even to people who are not typically a fan of the scent profile. For that reason, Zoologist Civet is my number 5 from the entire brand, and just look at the color of that juice. Number 4, 3, 2, and 1 are very hard to choose in which order because they're all extremely close. My number 4 spot, I'm going to put the original Zoologist Bad, which was, I believe, a 2015 formula. Now, I don't have it in the old Zoologist bottle, but the same perfumer that perfumed Bad by Zoologist was able to transfer her creation to Olympic Orchids, which is a different brand. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to call this Bad. I'm actually wearing Bad on skin, and Bat is the most transportive perfume that I've smelled in my entire life. Now, I'm not going to read the notes, but when I smell Bat and when I close my eyes, I can really picture myself standing in a humid, dark cave with water dropping from stalactites or stalagmites or whatever those things are called. I can smell the aroma of dried fruits such as papaya and banana, and they're sweet but a little bit overripe. I can smell some slight earthiness maybe coming from soil, and best of all, I can almost feel the texture of the moist and leathery wings of a bat. Now, my review seems very dramatic, but to be honest, when you smell this, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's a dramatic review because it's a dramatic perfume, and this is done so well. My only caveat with this perfume is that it's very linear. What I smell when I first spray it is what I smell 10 hours later. It is very potent juice and it can get a little bit cloying. The only difference between the opening and the dry down is deeper in the dry down, very slight smokiness comes out. It almost smells like a charred banana peel. I have no better way of describing this perfume, so really you need to check it out yourself. So my number 4 from the brand of Zoologist is the original Bat. I started to film my number 3, I was smelling it and I completely changed my mind. So right now, I'm feeling right this second, my number 3 is Zoologist Camel. Camel does every single thing well. The blend of it is beautiful, it's animalic, it's ambery, it's smoky, it's a little bit fruity, it's dry, it's Middle Eastern, and most of all, this is so smooth. I have many reviews on Fragrantica. I even made a designated review just for Camel on my channel. If I want to highlight one thing that Camel does well, it is the smoothest perfume I've ever smelled in the way that no note overpowers another note. Everything is perfectly balanced at the same level, and I don't detect even an ounce of sharpness in here. For that reason, Camel feels so transportive. It really feels like a place was encapsulated into the bottle. What's funny is that the animalics in here smell almost like a real camel. Camels are funky creatures, but luckily for me and everyone else that will smell this perfume, as I was saying before, the animalics are not any stronger than any other notes. You'll get dried fruits, you'll get dates, incense, rose, oud, olibanum. There's equal dryness, smokiness, sweetness, jamminess, animalicness. Everything in here works so well together that it doesn't even feel like a perfume. This really does feel like a place encapsulated into a bottle. And again, I have to mention, just look at that beautiful juice color. You know when the perfume is a dark ambery color, it's going to be a hit. We've now reached my number 2 overall from the brand of Zoologist, and this is very funny to me because if you know me, I hate aquatic and salty perfumes. However, Zoologist Squid is not only my number 2 perfume from the brand, but in my top 10 of all time. My best way to describe Squid is what I imagine the smell of getting swept out into the ocean on a dark and gloomy night in autumn, and you're being swept under the rough ocean currents, and when you finally resurface, I can imagine the smell of your skin being covered in ocean water, squid ink, and whatever else is in there. It is so dark, it's very salty, but for some reason this is almost gourmand. I can almost guarantee that no one else has ever said that about this perfume. The resins in here mixed with the salt is so tasty. That doesn't make sense even as I'm saying this out loud, but it's so inky, it's resinous, it's very lightly sweet, it's heavily salty. Again, another beautifully smooth composition. This is another one that is so transportive that whenever I have Squid on, I really do feel like I'm isolated deep down into the dark ocean where sunlight does not reach, and everything feels still, isolated, calm, but scary at the same time. Again, it's a dramatic review, but it's a dramatic perfume. That is why I love this brand so much. They're trying to be weird, and they do an amazing job at it. And my number 1, which unfortunately, like the original bat, is also discontinued. This is the original 2014 formulation of Rhinoceros. If there is one perfume on earth that should be labeled as eternal in longevity and enormous in sillage, it should be none other than Rhinoceros, the original version. I don't care what you say, take any perfume that you've smelled, this is stronger by a lot. In terms of strength, Outland's Biomoage isn't even close. Royal Tobacco, not even close. Mancera's Red Tobacco, not even close. Oud Maracuja, Oud Cadenza, Silver Oud, Marc Antoine Barra Aldebaran, Ganymede Extrait. None of these even come close in terms of longevity, sillage, and projection as the original formulation of Zoologist Rhinoceros. I don't know what is in this. I don't know how to describe this. All I can tell you is that it almost brings a sense of fear in it. It's so feral, it's so fear-inducing, it's powerful. A couple weeks back, I was able to get maybe a drop, not even from the sprayer, from doing this for 10 minutes, one singular drop on my wrist. My entire family was complaining about the strength of the perfume. If you have smelled saffron, just straight saffron, you know you get this almost warming feeling in your throat. Rhinoceros is like that on steroids. It's so warming that I almost get a sense of hot printer paper right out of the printer. When you smell it, it's very warm. There's something almost waxy. When I smell this, I feel like I'm in the wild, standing 100 feet away from a rhinoceros as it's slowly charging at me, and there's fear in my legs, I can't move, and I know that it's gonna hit me. Again, dramatic review for a dramatic perfume. Out of all of these ones that I've talked about, this is the most dramatic. If any of you are familiar with T-Rex, also from the House of Zoologist, first of all, I love that perfume as well. The original Rhinoceros is like that on steroids, and that is saying something. If any of you know T-Rex, you know that thing is eternal. It's almost terrifying in a way. Zoologist Rhino from 2014 is my number 1 zoologist perfume, and probably in my number 3 perfumes of all time. Thank you so much for watching. This was a fun video to make. I love the brand of Zoologist, if you cannot tell, and I hope to own pretty much every single bottle. Besides B. B is disgusting, and no one can convince me otherwise. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.